Charlemagne Charles the Great looms over the early Middle Ages as a titan of conquest and contradiction, a man whose ambitions stitched together an empire while his shadow dripped with blood and excess. Crowned king of the Franks in 768, he claimed the Lombard throne in 774, and in a seismic act was anointed emperor by Pope Leo III in 800, a defiant echo of Rome's lost grandeur. His relentless campaigns fused Western and Central Europe into a sprawling dominion, swallowing Bavaria, northern Spain, and the unruly Saxons under his banner. A master of war, he wielded his armies like a scythe, cutting down all who stood in his path. His reign sparked the Carolingian Renaissance, a fragile bloom of learning. Schools rose, texts were preserved, and culture flickered amid the chaos. His reforms in law, administration, and faith forged the foundation of the Holy Roman Empire, earning him the title Father of Europe. Yet this towering figure was no saintly king. His legacy is a jagged blade, sharpened by brutality, intolerance, and a personal life as tangled and voracious as his wars. Charlemagne's private world was a sprawling web of lust and power, marked by a parade of wives and concubines that rivaled the scope of his conquests. He married at least 5 times, each union a calculated knot in his political tapestry, Desiderata to appease the Lombards, Hildegard to bind Swabian loyalty, Fastrada for Frankish ties. Yet he discarded them as readily as he took them, divorcing or burying them when their usefulness waned. Alongside these queens, he kept a stable of concubines, women like Gersuinda and Regina.
Where is Regina?
Whose names whisper through history as shadows in his bedchamber. He sired at least 18 children, legitimate and bastard alike, their mothers a testament to his insatiable appetite. This was no mere indulgence, it was a mirror to his dominion, control asserted over bodies as fiercely as over lands. While he preached Christian virtue to his subjects, his own household teemed with the fruits of his excess, a hypocrisy that festered beneath his pious crown. Nowhere does his darkness cut deeper than in his wars against the Saxons, a 32-year crucible of slaughter and forced salvation that scars his myth. From 772 to 804, he hunted the pagan Saxons with a zealot's fury, seeing their defiance as an insult to his god and his rule. He torched their sacred groves, shattered their idols, and thrust baptism upon them at the edge of a blade. Resistance meant annihilation. The Saxons rebelled repeatedly, their spirit unbowed, only to face a wrath that devoured whole generations. The massacre of Verdun in 782 stands as the grotesque climax of this crusade. After Widukin's uprising bloodied his forces, Charlemagne herded 4,500 Saxon men to the Aller River's banks. No quarter was given. Axes sang through the air, hacking through necks with sickening cracks, spilling torrents of blood into the mud. Heads tumbled, eyes frozen in terror, as the river choked with gore. The executioners waded through a swamp of severed limbs and twitching torsos, the air thick with the copper stench of death and the fading gasps of the slain. Corpses piled high, a rotting monument to his vengeance, while Widukind, absent, later knelt in submission. Verdun was no aberration. It was Charlemagne's creed made flesh. This creed found voice in his laws, the Capitulatio de Partibus Saxoniae, a litany of terror etched in blood. Refuse baptism, an axe would split your skull, or the rack would stretch you until your joints popped like dry twigs. cling to pagan ways, cremating the dead, praying to forgotten gods. The noose awaited, or perhaps a slower end, your throat crushed as priests intoned nearby. Eat meat in Lent? Your tongue might be torn out, your jaw smashed before death claimed you. Hide from conversion. Flaying was the penalty, skin peeled back in crimson ribbons, your screams a hymn to his unyielding faith. Villages became slaughterhouses, mothers clutching children as their kin bled out in the dirt, all for daring to honor old gods. His empire demanded unity, and he baptized it in fear. The Carolingian Renaissance, his vaunted gift to posterity, shines dimly against this abyss. He built schools, summoned scholars, and prized literacy, a king who could quote Augustine while his executioners honed their blades. But this enlightenment was a luxury for the obedient, a thin gloss over a regime that crushed dissent with relish. His love of learning walked hand in hand with the conviction that faith must be uniform, enforced by terror. At home, his brood of children from wives and lovers sprawled across his court, a living testament to a man who bent morality to his will. In an age where power and religion were one, where tolerance was a distant dream, Charlemagne reigned as both conqueror and despot. His empire rose on the bones of the defiant, his legacy a weave of brilliance and barbarity, the father of Europe who birthed nations, wars, and a lineage steeped in his own contradictions.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.